Jamie Kennedy here with another ep. Hating to break it to you. Just had chicken. And yes, this is watermelon juice. I am not racist, but I just did have chicken, and this is watermelon juice, and it's fantastic. Hank's Chicken in Inglewood. Am I allowed to say that? Because that's what I ordered. And the woman was confused when she was dropping off my food, and I said, "Are you the chicken lady?" And she said, "Yes, I am." And I said, "I'm right here. I'm the chicken man." Weird way to start a pod, but hey, life is life. Here we go.
And it's slow.
But let's just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that because if
Let's not do that. You know, whatever you think, the first lady wasn't wrong in saying what she said. And Whoopi's like, let's not do that. In Iran, somebody backed me up, but I'm pretty sure they say death to America. And I'm pretty sure they don't like America. And the reasons they probably can't have a nuke is because they would blow us to smithereens and not think twice about it. Am I wrong? Do they have a death wish? So Whoopi's over here going, let's not do that.
we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranian regime is.
We have reverse prejudice against ourselves. So by the white lady saying that Iranians have known to throw gay people off buildings, she's saying they persecute people. Obviously not all Iranians, but, you know, the ones that are chanting death to America. Now, Whoopi then goes and virtue signals going, well, don't say that because then you're saying they're all bad, which they're not all bad, obviously, because in America, we're bad and we've done that. Now, instead of the audience going, yeah, don't throw gay people off the building, they wait until Whoopi says it bad about America, and then they clap. And in an audience of people where they're clapping in an American studio in a country where they're freer than they would be in Iran, I'm pretty sure that any Iranian who's left will tell you that you're freer in America than you are Iran. So then Whoopi's like, we've been known, yes, we have. We've done terrible things to gay people in this country, 100%. But it's not a contest of who was worse, but to sit here and shit on America as you're in America, from America, is reverse propagandism against this country, which gives you freedom. So I broke this down for you magically, but in a nutshell, do you hate the country in which you live? Like you're lucky. I don't understand. Why don't you go over to Iran and clap against America and see how that goes?
I'm sorry. They used to just keep hanging black people. So let's not even.
Now we went from gays to black very quickly. This identity stuff is very good. Bring the aliens in now, and I'm talking about the ones from the sky because, you know, the identity thing. It's ridiculous. We're just people. We have to get back. We have to get to people.
Same. I couldn't step during this.
Wait. That's not what you mean to say.
Now they're clapping against America.
Is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit in Toronto.
Listen, I'm sorry.
She's correct. She's saying year 2025 United States is nothing like if I wore this outfit in Iran. Now, I don't know if I went to Iran. I went to Saudi Arabia. I liked it. I was a little scared. And at the time, I wanted to bring my girlfriend. And she didn't want to go because she said we can only go and stay in the same hotel if we're married. And if we're not married, it might be a problem. And I think she was right. And also, I had the best buffet. I don't think I was in Iran. I was in Saudi Arabia. And beautiful women were there. And they were covered head to toe. And my joke was when I started the show is that I got eye. Because the only part I saw this woman was her eye. And her eye was looking at me through the little cloth that she wore. And I was like, oh, damn. She's flirting. I got eye, or I saw ankle. I got ankle. You know what I mean? It was the joke. The joke kind of didn't really work when I did it at Saudi Arabia. But the point is that that woman's correct, because that was only a couple years ago, right before the pandemic, where I went to Saudi Arabia with a black man, with another black man, with another, I think with 3 black men, and I don't even think women comedians were allowed to go. See, there you go. There you go, Whoopi. I went with one black man, and then 2 other black men were over there, and another white guy was there before me. There was like 9 of us. And they weren't allowed, they didn't book any females. I don't think that they were allowed to book females, which is crazy. So there you go. First hand right here. I'm 99% sure there was no females. But our female tourist was incredible because she's from Lebanon and she knew the area and she took us for hookah. And we did a whole tour of Saudi Arabia with her. It was incredible. And I loved it. I learned a lot. That's the beauty of this job. You get to go around the world. But for Whoopi going, let's not do that. Well, this is, again, should be played against the view, because Whoopi, you weren't even being allowed to go there as a comedian, let alone a woman. Can't even like wear your clothes right. You can't you can't show a lot of your face because that's the laws over there. So this is nuts.
No, I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you, as
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
She's not wrong.
Yes,
it is up to them.
And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good, whoever does it. It's not good.
Why does the fucking audience is definitely told to clap? There's no way. They don't clap at anything else, just Whoopi's points? Okay, and air is really good to breathe in. I mean, these are basic points. Yeah, we all agree with this.
So that's why I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
I agree with that. Now let's see what we just said right there.
In 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys,
not if you're black. Oh, God, this is crazy. So you're as persecuted as women in Iran, as a black multimillionaire on The View, and Sonny's over there, another black, partially black, multimillionaire TV star. Very hard for you.
go to Tehran. Do not anyone at the table should go to Tehran.
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But, yeah, I know that.
Not the way you talk about it.
We all know that. But every day, we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood? They are not big deals, and I don't mean to say they're not big deals to you, because that's not what I meant.
And they are not doing well. They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated. They cannot property. They cannot leave States.
I'm talking about here.
Nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That is no one's intent.
Good.
But I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country.
Yep.
And people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way.
Well, they should go. You should go to Crimea. You should go to the Eastern Bloc. You should go to Mozambique, that's not even, Mozambique is not the one. It's the Horn of Africa. You should go to places that are intense.
Everybody feels that way. Listen, I'm sorry. You know, when you think about the fact that we got the vote in 1965.
Okay, they don't have free and fair elections in Iran. It's not even the same universe.
Yes, she's so right.
Women,
you know what? There's no way I can make you understand.
No, let me try something. It's like try to reverse roles with a black person in this country. Like,
oh, there's Joy.
Because I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Just try to understand from their point of view. From that point of view, this country does not do them well. Does not go for them.
LeBron just got $52 million from the Lakers. I mean, your most successful woman in Iran is not going to get that. No matter how, all women are persecuted. I understand that there's been a history of terrible oppression against black people in this country, but to come say that America is just as bad as Iran in 2025, unless I'm an idiot, somebody tell me in the comments.
So
acknowledge that,
and we shouldn't compare atrocities. If you're talking about Iran, of course, is doing worse.
Of course.
But relatively speaking,
Joy, you know
it feels
this.
bad.
Okay, but I think you know that Iran is significantly
I guess we're going to come back.
She said Iran, and they said Iran. I don't know, man. How does a fucking View even stay on TV? It's state-run television. All right.
The age of consent has become incredibly political.
Now, this is insane. Has it? Has it? The guy who's pushing for it is a person that has a lot of smoke around him for Epstein's Island. There's a lot of rumors about him. And now, I didn't watch this video yet, but...
About 20 years ago, I wrote an article in the Los Angeles Times.
And he says he only got massages from the underage girls on Epstein Island. This is what he has said. And he says that the age of consent is too old. But he says he didn't do anything on Epstein's Island. But now he's fighting for lowering
In
the
which I said
age
the age of
consent.
consent for sex is...
The age of consent for sex is way too high. Let's look at these words here. Way too high. It's way over. 18? Where are all the people saying the frontal cortex isn't evolved until you're 25? But yet this guy is saying way too high. Now, if you're a person that is a suspect on the Epstein Island fucking case, if you're a person that has been documented as going there, if you're a person that is gotten massages, do you think this is something you should be fighting for? So this again goes into my demonic belief system that this guy knows he doesn't want to talk about it, but he has to in order to not get his card pulled. So he has to like put it out there, saying what he believes, knowing that he wants them to be under 18, and that way he won't get busted. This goes into the revelation of the process belief system, which I believe
is way too high. It's 18.
There's no way a Harvard-educated lawyer would ever say this and understand the PR nightmare with which it would bring. So there's no way that this old bucking cue ball of chalk, look at this guy, really thinks this is a good idea to say this, that he has to be being told. If he does, then come on, stop it.
In many states. It was 18 in California. It's 18 in Florida. The average age where sex is commenced in California and in Florida is 15. So what the law was doing was making millions of people, literally millions of people, criminals every day. So
people talk shit about Florida, but the law is 18.
I wrote an article saying, the age of consent shouldn't be 18. They shouldn't have a law which so violates the norms of society. I mean, people are having sex at 15, 16, 17. All right, why?
Not with people over 18, dude.
Shouldn't a 17-and-a-half-year-old girl be able to consent to having loving, consensual, wonderful sex with an 18-year-old boy? Can't imagine what hit the fan on that one. I was called a sexist, a horrible person by the left. So the age of consent has become incredibly political.
Yeah, bro, this ain't a good look. This feels like they're starting to push maps. I don't even want to go into it. You know what a map is. Again, moving the goalposts. Now they have love is love. Okay, love is love. Really? Love is love. Love is love. Is that the answer? Oh, love is love. Okay. You're 15. I'm 50. Love is love. Fuck out of here.
There's a device that can see demons and other entities in our realm. Let's talk about it. So there is a scientist by the name of Daniel Melms, and he created a device that can see entities.
I've heard of this.
And anomalies all around us, and took pictures of it. Right here you can see.
Deviant. Deviants. It's deviants masked as freedom fighters, but they're really deviants.
There's different pictures of what he captures. So how does this work? It uses quantum mechanics, electromagnetism, and it uses anomalies. Now, what are the anomalies? The anomalies are these different images that you see here. These images don't appear anywhere else in the film. So you can clearly see that they're here. And we've been always talking about battling a spiritual war. These might be the entities that we're actually battling against, and he was actually able to capture them. So when we're talking about, whether or not other entities are around us, he captured them on film. And we talked about the other goggles, the diacyanin goggles, in the other episode.
Oh, I want to watch
What's
these.
the other device? What's the other device? Here's the other device right here. So my question to you
I want to get these goggles.
is, do you believe
Demon seeing goggles
that we're able to capture these demons and other entities on film? What can we do about it? Are we able to become like Ghostbusters? Or is this just another myth and Mythbusters should come and try to bust it? What do you think?
100% I believe this. 100% it's real. Energies, all these different things. It's not like coincidences. Feelings, the feeling could be one of these things tugging on your fucking cape, hitting your head. I don't fucking know. But I'm telling you right now that they always say there's 3 demons in the room with you and 3 angels. Maybe that's why the word 33 or the number 33. I don't know. And I believe it. And I believe that AI and quantum mechanics, quantum physics will break all of this wide open, and we won't be so crazy for people that speak on it. And I also think that people that have schizophrenia, they're just kind of tapped into another realm, and they may actually be hearing real voices, and they just may be acutely attuned to things that we can't. So they look crazy, and we are actually just not as in tune as them. Or they could actually just be off. That's another thing. But what happens if they are able to hear things and see things in other realms that are here that we can't access with our 5 senses? I totally believe this, and I've heard about this. That's crazy. All right, here we are. Here.
98% confident that the first thing you're looking at is whether she's pretty.
This video is as long and rambling as you think it would be based on the hair. Basically, she's asking, what is it that men do not like about dating, and is it just based on looks? So to my colorful-haired new friend, here's the answer you're going to get from almost all men.
This is home math.
First of all, it feels like this or like this. And yes, we do look at looks first, chronologically. It's just the first way to determine who we want to talk to. But we are not picky about that. You are picky about that, and you're projecting that onto us. Personally, I will start talking to her if she's like in the upper 4s or better. And like if I look at her and I go, she's slightly below average, I'll say, well, what else might she have? And
he's right. Guys are less picky about looks than women.
And I start evaluating her personality. These are in chronological order. And if she's really cool, which a lot of them have been, like I've dated some girls who were maybe even lower 4. Like I've dated and not
lower 4, but very cool. Brings her up to a medium 7.
Just talked to girls who were maybe even lower 4 at the worst, but had a great personality. That's enough for me to put her vaguely in this area. Like, I don't know yet where she's gonna land, but it's enough to be seen with her in public, which is the line that, like, if a guy doesn't want to be seen with you in public, that should set you off to that you're probably down here. And then I figure out what she...
A sweeper, a sleeper, a keeper.
wants from me, time and money, and, you know, just the quality she wants from me, and I see if the trade is fair. And then we date for a few months, and almost every single time, this happens. She goes, okay, let me wait until I know that you are emotionally attached, and until I get emotionally attached as well, and then I'm going to dump all the bullshit that I did on you and you know, see if you still want me, and we don't.
These graphs are incredible. These graphs are incredible.
And then we just like let her get attached, and we cool off, and we go, okay, I'm not marrying this. So then she cools off, right? Mm-hmm. And asks the what are we question, and we go, oh, well, we're just, you know, meh. Remember the chronological thing? That's number 3. This is the drop off when we get told the stories. And that drops her below the public-private line where it's like, well, I will hang out with you again, but, you know, we're not getting married. So she asks the what are we question, I say not what you want, and she goes away, and then someone else shows up, and then she cools off, and then this one comes back, and it alternates like that for a while. Sometimes there's more than 2 at once. And the whole time we're just looking for someone who makes us feel like at least this. At least it. Like, you don't want to, like, marry someone who's like, I have to pretend that I want to. But this part is when I actually genuinely want to, and this part is when I no longer want to after I learn about who you are. So no, we are not just picky about...
And a relationship is getting through that if you know that the person has so many good qualities and they just get in their own way, and if you love that person enough, you'll work through that. So, you know, if someone's valuable, a man, at least I wouldn't throw them out with the bathwater. I would say, okay, well, there's so many good qualities here. This person can work on themselves, and then maybe look at myself and we'll see what I have to work on. Also, I'm older.
Looks, that is you. Women are picky about looks. I have been madly in love with women who I would...
Some women don't care about looks, though. Actually, a lot of women don't care about looks. If you can charm a woman, you can charm her pants off. Talent, stuff.
Not want people to see photos of now that I'm famous. It wouldn't look like, you know, that's not a celebrity's girlfriend. So I am actually very reasonable about these things, and this is the worst one. Like, this is the worst thing about women today. When I end it, it usually ends because, like, I don't want this girl to meet my family and my friends. Now that I know who you are, it's over. So that dip on the chart is when you move from here to here, and we say things like this, oh, I don't know where I'm gonna be. We know, it's just not with you. And then you say things like this about us, I don't know what he wants. What we want is someone who's not gonna bring this into our lives and act.
I didn't see that video, it's okay.
The male loser epidemic has gotten so bad that it's honestly so pathetic at this point. Like, why do you think you're fucking lonely? You're fucking...
Is this real? Is this real?
Lonely because we don't want to be with you. Because look at how pathetic you are. I posted a video talking about my standards.
There's no way this is real. There's no way this girl's this mean.
And what I expect of men, which is basically just basic decency. You got to be consistent, you got to communicate, you got to make straight up plans. I'm not just fucking hanging out with you. It's got to be at a nice restaurant, and on the second day I will ask you for a gift, and I'm not telling...
There's no way this is real. You're not going to demand a gift.
You what to borrow me, but I want to see your creativity. I want to see how you court me. I have standards. I also date high net worth individuals because that's my fucking circle. That's who I hang out with. That's who I am. I make a lot of money, so I'm...
No way this is a real person. There's no way this is a real person. I don't believe this person exists.
going to hang out with people who also make a lot of money, because it's about the mindset, because we're always trying to work on each other. And these men fucking went crazy in the fucking comments. It's like, oh, like you're 6 at best. Bitch, like I don't care what you think of me, because the men in my life, the men that I date, the men that I hang out with, actually think that it's wonderful that I am achieving so much in my life. They think it's wonderful, and actually help me set higher standards for the men in my life that are walking into my life. They teach me how to think. They teach me how to carry myself in the world. They teach me about men like you and how to stay away from them. So I think it's just fucking ridiculous that these fucking bitch-ass losers are fucking...
There's no way a person can be like this. Listen, we all have our different things, but this has to be rage bait. There's no way this woman can actually exist. Do you ever go to a comedy club? Do you ever laugh, ma'am? Would you be laughing, or did you ever have a guy who's broke that can really write a good song? Or what if a guy doesn't have any money and he's pretty good looking and he's really thoughtful? Or what if a guy is okay looking but he's an amazing chef? What if he doesn't get you a gift on the second date, but he cooks you an amazing shepherd's pie? Like, there's no way you're this shallow. And the men in your life who are telling you this, if it's real, I don't believe it's real, they're just trying to F.
Sitting there, no fucking high worth individual and no respectable man is gonna sit on the internet and curse out a random person, period. I wouldn't do it.
I've done it. I'd like to put net worths up against each other. I've done it.
I mean, I'll fucking troll you. If you're coming at me, I'll fucking troll you. But otherwise, I wouldn't do it. No one who's respectable and has time and has things going for them.
I don't know how big that house is. It doesn't look that big. I've done it.
Is gonna sit there and bully somebody, and like no one who actually knows their value.
Not bully, but defended myself when people are bullying me.
Who's gonna sit in a relationship and bully them and tell them you can't get anything better than what I can offer you. You don't have anything to offer. You are what we're all running away from. You are lonely because you're a motherfucking loser. Like, it's fucking embarrassing.
That's so rude. People might have problems. You don't have to call them fucking losers.
I'm so embarrassed for you, and it's like most fucking men too. Like, it's literally most fucking men. Most men are fucking losers, and they know it, and then they're like, oh, well, we're just gonna like fucking bully you into being with us again because we're losing control. Bitch, fuck off. Fuck off. I don't care about you, okay? All right? I really don't care about you. Step aside. Let the men who have done work on their mindset
what is
and
she
themselves
doing with that?
Actually step forward and
that
lead.
Oil.
Because obviously you're like a little child.
What is she doing with all that oil? You can't cover the smell. I'm just reacting to this video. I don't know anything about this woman. It seems like she got bullied, but man, that is pretty aggressive take. I guess there is a male loneliness epidemic. I don't know. That's a whole other thing. People got to go out and do physical activities and learn to talk. Also, there's a celibacy thing happening. A lot of people are being celibate right now. All right, this is a good video I'm going to react to for a little while. I guess Candace Owens went against 20 feminists, and I think Candace Owens cannot be beat. She comes with receipts. She's of sober mind and body. She's so clear-headed. I've never even seen her stutter once. She's calm. She's cool. She's collected. She's a mother of 4. She is a woman. Woman. And, you know, I think a lot of people should aspire to be her. Classy, men and women. I mean, she just keeps it together, man. Incredible. I don't know if you can find a better debater. I really don't. I don't think you can. So I guess you went against these 20 feminists, and I just want to react to some of it.
Take place when you're inside of a home. But the sexual revolution, encouraging women to give up their goods for free, which is what I'm speaking about, and encouraging men not to marry these women or to have long-term relationships, what I am saying is a direct contributor to their unhappiness, because women are giving up their goods for free and women are now entering the workplace, and that does not actually make them happy.
Okay, pause. Sorry, you've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Whoa.
Hello.
Hi there.
How are you? I'm Candace.
Nice to meet you. Julian, my pronouns are they, them. It's very interesting that.
All right. Well, you could start off right away. This is going to be an interesting argument. She's got the hair. She's got the flannel. You know what's up. Pronouns.
Of it when we just think about the gender binary, it's how do we place value on human beings in general, and so when we think about placing value, that comes from a place of power, right? So I think let's select like the Victorian era. You have this dominant group of people coming from white supremacy, deciding who gets to have a proper status in the world, and so that is already like taking human beings and devaluing them. And so what the sexual revolution did was to help people seek out empowerment, which increased value, no matter the gender. So when it comes to sexual revolution, let's look at one contribution is sex education. I'm actually an educator. I teach sociology and LGBTQ studies. And I have absolutely seen the positive outcome with the sexual revolution and sex education and seen people empower themselves. And with that comes safety when it comes to decreasing STIs, abuse, sexual assault. Again, people get to empower themselves of
they can to make people happy.
So when it comes, as someone that teaches in the public sector, I understand the concern when it comes to like, what is a teacher, what kind of information.
When someone is in the public sector, people take themselves too seriously the way they talk and they use words.
And they're providing to the students. I do believe that I want to believe in that when it comes to identity. Right. Everyone should have the freedom to decide how they want to identify, as long as they're not causing harm. But that's where we get into the debate, what is harm?
So just, again, to be clear, to go back to this claim, we are debating female happiness. Mm-hmm. You are saying you do not identify as a female.
I identify with all gender expressions, so from masculinity to femininity. So
I'm just saying.
This is a problem right here, because she's identifying, meaning a feeling that she has. Let's just get this done once and for all. You biologically, I think, are a female. So you are biologically a female. Let's just say that. And you have the pronouns originally as a female, a woman. But you feel that you have masculine traits or some feminine traits. Yes. But you have to say, well, biologically, I'm a female, but I express as many different things. That's okay. But as long as you start with the root belief, scientific thing, yes. This is where it's so simple. Let's just, scientifically, I am a female.
Are you just saying that as a part of queer theory, you're debating whether or not women are happier after the sexual revolution? I'm just trying to understand, because it seems like you're debating queer theory as opposed to female.
I believe all genders benefit from the sexual revolution.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
What the fuck is queer theory?
Hi.
Hi.
I like your hat.
Whitney Shannon.
Now you know it's already going to be a problem because that fucking hat. When you see that dumb hat, that is a hat of a liberal. You know that hat. When you see that hat, you're like, oh God, this is a fucking loopy. This is a person that, hey, well, no, everyone deserves expression. No sense of humor. Well, I do. I just may not find you very funny. Or no sense of irony. No sense of that it's a nice day and there's no reason to wear a fucking hat that you would wear at the Derby. There's no horses here, lady. This is a big dumb, look at me, I'm a low-budget fashionista, and I'm academic hat. These hats are dumb. When you see someone in a hat like this, you know you're going to have a problem. Avoid a person like this in a hat. It's like my boy, Johnny. He lives down the street from the Oaks. You know the Oaks. People in LA, I only want you to comment on this. Oaks Gourmet is amazing food, breakfast, coffee, all that. But it gets a few different groups of people. One is annoying improvers who have nerd rage and are nerds and want to be cool, so they can never be vulnerable, so they act like they're cool and smart, but they can be, but they can never admit when they're wrong. The other one are people that shop at like Jet Rag. And my buddy was there at like 6:45 in the morning having coffee, and there's a guy that was wearing a fucking fedora. A fucking fedora. At 6:45 a.m. And my buddy's like, hey, man, I like your hat, to fuck with him. And he goes, oh, it's just something I grabbed at the door. Yeah, you put a fedora on, bro. At 6:45 in the morning with long hair looking like Crosby, Stills, and Nash. You didn't try? It's a try. And right now, this woman is doing a try.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
It's not nice to meet you. You guys don't like each other.
Fascinated by your claim that women have lost happiness since the sexual revolution, since the 1950s.
I hate this dumb hat. It's a dumb fucking hat.
Do you think that there's any tie to happiness and freedom and happiness and choice? Because since 1950s, since the sexual revolution, women have gotten exponentially more freedom and more choice. And for me,
so this argument is about the sexual revolution. I guess it happened in the late 50s, early 60s, where women just started throwing their snoochola around. And Candace is saying that, hey, you know who won with that? Clinics and men. And in the 50s, where it was more like housewife and, you know, Leave It to Beaver, the show, not the organ, is that that women were a husband, a housewife, kids, they had a unit, they had a car. The woman traditionally stayed at home, cooked, baked, raised the children. The husband went out and earned. Obviously, we're not in the 50s anymore, and a lot has changed. But her argument is that the sexual revolution didn't make women as happy as you think they are, because even though you're freer, and this is a deep conversation that Aaron Russo, you can look up those videos that Alex Jones did, and how the sexual revolution was actually a work to bifurcate the home, to start on the realm of complete, I hate to say it, Satanism, where the unit which is strong and family and familiar becomes fragmented, and the traditional family is destroyed. And it's not saying that it's always right to just be the traditional family, but a unit is probably healthier. Whether you have a mom and a dad, or two moms or two dads, or whatever, stepmom, stepdad, whatever. It's a unit is good, you know, with children, a dog. It's probably pretty healthy if everyone gets along. So her argument is that women are built to procreate. That's what the earth is. We're a Sims game. And the number one reason women exist is to procreate. Now, you don't have to procreate, and we have, more than enough people in this world probably, and I understand that, and people are being born as I'm saying this right now, and people are dying as I'm saying this right now, and I'm not God, nor would I ever want to be, but, well, maybe a little bit, but what I'm trying to say is that women's inert thing is to be nurturing, loving creatures, and you can look at people that don't have children, people that do have children. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be happy. I don't know. But it also doesn't mean that she's basically saying that the sexual revolution, you look as freedom, but men just say, oh, cool, I'm not going to fucking treat this woman with respect because I'm just going to be able to hump and dump. Kind of basically what they're saying. And these women are saying, but I have my freedom and I can work and I can make my own money. And Candace is saying, yes, you can, but you're missing your calling. Now, not every woman is going to want to be a mother, nor should they be. But there are some, she's saying, that are being duped. And the idea of motherhood is a very gratifying thing. Listen, you're talking to a guy who's an immature person. So, I mean, I don't have children. I'm not saying I can't. I'm not saying I won't still. But, I mean, I'm getting older, man, because I'm self-involved. But I am not a woman. And I have my own moments of like, man, if I had a family, wouldn't this be nice and this? But then another part of me is like, I like my freedom. So I can understand what Hat is saying.
The mother, and as a woman,
and she's a mother,
having the freedom to choose what I do, to make my own destiny, makes me infinitely more happy than, say, back before the sexual revolution, when I couldn't get a bank account, couldn't get a home loan, couldn't work outside the home.
Yeah, you can do all that. You should be able to do all that.
Couldn't travel around without a man, couldn't control my own reproduction. So I feel that happiness,
kind of can't do that now.
Personally, my belief is tied to our ability to have freedom. And I think that in the United States, protecting freedom and our individual freedoms is what's going to lead us to happiness.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to college?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Did you?
So, yes, I did. So you have a degree?
Absolutely.
Now, when you went to college...
Little passive... Did you? She tried to come back. Just answer the question. It's not your interview.
Did you go to college because it was simply something that you wanted to do, or did you think that I have to go to college because in order to get a job, I have to have a college degree?
I went to college for art because I was fascinated with art.
Oh, God, I hate her. Boy, I hate this shit. I went to college for art because I was fascinated. No, you fucking didn't. Shut up. And I bet your art stinks. God, be honest. I went to college for art because I was fascinated with art. Well, if you were, then you would have went over to fucking Paris and sat on a cliff and painted put an easel up and painted a fucking building like my sister did down the shore. Or you would have got a fucking stone and carved that shit into a trinket. You don't need to go to college to do art. I went to college because I'm fascinated with art. And do you know this hat? This hat says I'm different. This is an arty hat. This is such exactly the type of person that would wear that fucking hat. She definitely drinks white wine. She definitely knows everything. And her friend circle, she's not being honest. Do you understand? This is the type of truths and reactions we should have to these things. You're a bullshit artist, lady. True art is fucking pain. Okay? Why don't you look up that fucking punk guy, G.G. Allen? Jesus Christ, the guy cut himself every concert. He's so fucked up. Why don't you look at Kurt Cobain? Never wore a hat. You know why I do comedy? Not because I was fucking infatuated with comedy. I did comedy because I had nothing going on. And every time I did a dumb little voice or I did something in a funny way, people would laugh. And I was like, oh, damn. There's some type of power here that I don't have to work at the shoe store or the pizza shop if I can figure out how to use this thing that I have that disarms people, that made girls that were out of my league pay attention to me. Or people tip me more because I made them laugh. I didn't do it because I was fascinated with comedy. And, no, I did it because I was like, this is a fucking, I can figure out how to juke the system. I didn't go to fucking college for comedy or acting. Jesus. So, you know what your college is? Signing up in an open mic with every psycho in North Hollywood. And somebody coming in and fucking trying to smash the place up with their guitar. That's the college I went to.
Okay. It's just answering my question. Did you go to college? Was that the only reason you went to college? Or did you think that I might want to do something in art, so I have to go to college, like, for my career?
I went to school because I wanted to expand my horizons.
Yeah. Oh, God. Fuck. Expand your horizons. Get on the fucking subway, lady. Go to Pakistan. Do an open mic at Tony Roma's in Woodland Hills and argue with the maitre d' that he owes you a baked potato because you did the set and you got a free meal, which is one baby steak, one side of green beans, but they said they wouldn't give you the second side and you're hungry and you're sleeping in the back of your car. That's art. Expand your horizons beyond Van Nuys. Jesus, this is just flowery fucking. I want to take the hat and throw it. I wish I could take that hat and throw it like a frisbee. You know these hat types. These are what we call fakey fakes. Fakey little McFakersons. Candace is as real as that. She is just as real as anything.
I think that's why most people go to university.
Do most people go to university? Is that what we're calling it now? University, to show me how educated you are? No, most people don't go to university to expand our horizons. Okay, I'm going to have to say it. Dumb. Check out the girls at ASU. Are they going to expand their horizons? No. They're going to hang out with other pretty girls and other jocks. The jocks are going because they can't add, but they can throw a baseball. The pretty girls are going because their mom and dad made them go. They end up on OnlyFans or being a barista or hooking up. Look at the people at FSU. They go for fucking keg parties. Most people go to college because they're forced to go. They're lost. I had so much shit because I didn't go to college. My mom was like, you should go. But she's like, you're so adamant, then don't go for a year. But then you can't. I'm not going to support you forever. You got to figure it out. I'm like, fuck college. And she's like, you got to go to college. Okay. So no, I was persecuted for not going to college. And even my mother, who is scared and a super scholastic person, said, your college was the world. Your college was Hollywood Boulevard. Your college was riding that skateboard and the school of hard knocks. And she goes, Jamie, I was wrong. You can survive in the world because that's your college and you are an adapter. And that was one of the most beautiful things my mother ever said to me. And she goes, what you do is you don't need college. You're right. So these dumb fucking answers that Blue Hat is giving, she will just probably at this point call me a misogynist. If a guy wore this blue hat, I would say the same thing. This is the fakery of life, man. This ain't fucking real. I want to know who this lady is. I want to know what she does. I want to know everything about her because I want to just say, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. This ain't real, okay? Stop trying to act like this is why most people, and I'm aligning myself with most people. I'm so mad now and I'm tired. I align myself with most people, so I am cool too, right? I'm not a freak. I'm of the most people group. God, I'm not insecure at all.
No,
why
so
did
that's
you
actually,
go?
That's actually not
Why
true.
did
A lot
you
of
go?
I went, and I think a lot of people go because there's a pressure that if you don't go to college, you're going to be a failure.
It's a choice. Everything-
Correct.
It's a choice. So taking away choices doesn't make people happier. Taking away freedoms doesn't make people happier.
I'm disagreeing with you on the idea that people are feeling more free by financial pressure. I think financial pressure makes people feel remarkably less free.
Yes.
Do you want no bank accounts again? Women not to have credit cards?
No, she's not saying that at all.
Not saying that women shouldn't have access to credit cards or banking accounts. You're putting words in my mouth, so why don't you respond to the words that I'm saying?
Well, less financial pressure. If I don't have a bank account, that's a lot less financial pressure, I guess, right?
Financial pressure in terms of most people that go to college, and I'm counting myself among them, it's because typically in order to get the job that you're being sold is going to make you infinitely happier and infinitely more free, it just requires a college degree. And most of these people, to be clear, have to put themselves...
Which is a scam. David Geffen, a titan in Hollywood, lied and said he went to UCLA, gave his fake resume to the mailroom of Billy Moe, that's William Morris, which is now William Morris Endeavor, because that's how you start in Hollywood. It was an amazing job to get, but you work your balls off and you learn everything through the mail system. Lied to say he went to UCLA because you can't get in there. He became a titan in movies, TV, everything, music, really. But he couldn't get in there because he didn't go to college. That is persecution. That is profiling. He could not get the job. He lied, just like I lied about things in Hollywood to get me in front of casting directors. It's not fair. It's rigged. So we have to out-rig the riggers. So Candace is saying it's a bullshit system that you have to have a degree, even though you might not be smart. There's tons of people working at Starbucks with more degrees than me. And they're working at Starbucks. There's other people that are homeless in front of Starbucks that are smarter than me. And they don't have the chances. Okay? So it's not fair. And this is a complete bullshit. She's saying college is set up to fucking drain your bank account. You can't get a job. It's all a fucking work.
Majority of people have to put themselves into debt. And I don't think anybody would describe debt as a form of freedom, right?
No.
I don't think anybody would realistically say...
Let's get back to happiness. So we're here
Oh my God, B! All you gotta do is say, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. You're right. Good point. Point, Candace. No, but Hat can't do that.
Talk about happiness and how the sexual revolution, and we're not talking about college debt.
I think it's important because we're talking about freedom. You just said that the reason why I feel happy is
when people can't make the point. Why is our society so obsessed with being right? See, I want to connect with this woman, and in order to connect with her, you have to understand that you have to have you have to get over your blocks. But the reason I get so animated is because she's so in denial. And the reason why it's hard to connect with people like Hats like this is because they're just set in their ways. They consider themselves open-minded, but they're not. They're not really, really open-minded. Open-minded means your world could be wrecked. Your husband could end up fucking the neighbor, or your boss is stealing from you, or your dad is a reptilian. I don't know. But open-minded is like, it could happen. That's what open-minded is. Unfortunately, we live in a society that is run by people that don't like to be looked at. So when you are open-minded, going, that's a possibility, they label you as crazy. And this is a perfect creation of the system of somebody that would label you crazy, conspiracy theorist, right wing, MAGA, all that. You know that Hat don't like what I got to say. And so that Hat it can't ever go, yeah, that's a good point. Because that hat has to look cool. It all comes from insecurity. It's okay to be vulnerable.
Because I have more freedom. And I am saying that financial restraints and debt doesn't make people feel more free.
So let's eliminate the debt. Let's eliminate college debt. Maybe we should have free college here in the U.S. That sounds great. Great idea, Candace. I love that idea. All right.
Okay.
Love it. Woo! Champion for the people.
Girl.
That was the dumbest answer ever. Made no sense. The argument went nowhere. It was terrible ending. Stupid. Terrible way to end that. This series is dumb for doing that. Let Candace get her final point out.
My second claim is that no career will give women as much joy and fulfillment as raising children.
Now, I don't know. Maybe that is her thing, but that's pretty intense. But it's true. If you are the woman that created Spanx, I don't know. I think you would want somebody to share it with. So I think that she created Spanx, but she also has a family. No, look. That's nerd rage right there, and that's a dude with a dude. Now, this is your classic fake male. This is a male feminist who's probably really a creep. You can already tell. He's a champion of women. This is your classic white knight. Classic virtue signaler. I'm already getting that stinky vibe off of him.
Hi, Candace. How are you?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm John. Okay, so I feel like a lot of your arguments today are very rooted in a sort of...
When people kind of start like this, they're already kind of being like demeaning to you and kind of like, hey, you know, I want to be cool here, but I don't really agree. It's already like that sly side of the face. And instead of just being like, hey, man.
Old school perspective.
Passive aggressive bullshit.
I have to be honest. Like, I think, and I'm not trying to be insulting whatsoever, I feel as though most people would identify that claim as pretty extreme and pretty like...
Children are extreme?
Well, no.
Most of these people keep saying, I think most people, please stop speaking for most people. Just speak for yourself.
That women would get more.
The problem is they want to be align themselves with group. This is groupthink. They all want to align themselves. Well, feel that most people would, right? So I'm part of this group. Of course you are. You're a fucking lemming. Okay, you're a lemming.
It's inherently from raising kids and having a job or deciding what they want to do with their lives.
Why is that? I'm just curious. Why would having children, which is just a natural biological conclusion, be something that sounds extreme?
I just said inherently.
Inherently.
That's the
extreme.
Inherent expectation.
Yeah.
That's better for.
It's inherent because it's biological. So I think when we think about things that are inherent, I think biology.
Yes, she's correct. You have a vagina with eggs in it, a certain number of eggs. Men have more sperm. Men literally are supposed to populate the earth, and women are the ovens which give birth with the co-creation. And if we didn't do that, there'd be 2 people on earth. That's it. And earth wouldn't be built. So there's something that's here, God, the creator, whatever it is, that put us all here to make this Sims game. They wouldn't be sitting there right now if women didn't have kids. So you could say the world's overpopulated now. I don't know. But at some point you have to go, women have to have kids. They should have kids. And a home hearth. I'm not saying all women should be home churning butter, although it's nice. I also love to churn butter, okay? I would groom a dog, okay? I think women are more nurturing. They can groom a dog. I'll clean the house. I don't think women have to clean the house. We'll get a service, but I would pitch in just as hard as a woman. I can clean a house better than a woman, okay? I can cook. I'll cook against most women. Traditional values can be changed. You want to talk about they, thems? They, thems is cook or non-cook. Let's put those as pronouns. This is a good bit. My pronouns are spatula or non-spatula. My pronouns are mop or mop or spatula. Like, there's your fucking pronoun. Like, can you do? I do the shit. You know why? Because I was raised like this. In fact, I low-key am a better cook than, I don't know, most people in my family. You know why? Because I can just do it. I like it. You just look at a recipe and then, or you just say, ooh, some avocado oil, some truffle salt, some egg. Here it is, some sourdough toast. I'll make you a breakfast like that. It's simple. Yeah. In fact, there was a girl that I used to mess around with, and I wish she would come on this pod and tell about it. After we had some fun, she said, "Oh my God, did you ever have the Jamie tuna?" And I used to make the tuna with nuts and the cranberries. Heather used to love my tuna.
Biology is a good thing to start with, right? So biologically speaking, men and women come together, they form families, and that's the reason why you're sitting here. That's the reason that I'm sitting here, is because biology is inherent.
Yes.
So
Well, I was
saying
told-
it's just natural order that we're speaking about, right?
Okay, let's break it down. So why?
People just don't look at fucking facts. This is not a pen to people. This is a fucking rhinoceros. It's like they've lost their mind. She's basically saying we're here because of biology and because men and women got together and had a child, i.e. why we're here. And all I had to say is, you're right. That's a good point. Now, my other point was, what the fuck is up with these word salads?
Why do you believe that? Why do you believe that?
Why do I believe that? What kind of fucking question is this?
Why do I believe that women...
Why do you inherently are happier? Yeah.
Okay, you keep stressing this word inherent. So.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think because it
this
speaks
guy
to
trying to
natural order,
fuck?
and every piece of life, I think, is enriched by
You
children.
don't think it's natural for women to get to decide what they want to do with their lives?
I do not think that saying women can decide whether or not they want to go to work or have children is problematic. What I'm saying to you is that women will get the most fulfillment from having...
She's not saying that women can't go to work and do that. She's saying if you had a choice, if women had a family or work, she's saying inherently she thinks women would be happier if they were connected to a family unit. That's what she's saying. That's all she's saying. She's not saying you shouldn't have the right to choose.
a family.
Because it's natural.
It's natural, but also children are wonderful and beautiful and spiritually divine creatures. I mean, they're amazing. There's everything about having a child. Yes, it's a lot of work. It's beautiful.
I hear that. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, what if there's a little girl born and it's her dream her entire life to be an author or to be, on TV or any of these things, and
This is a fucking complete guy who smokes a joint, fake ass, West Village, coffee swirling dude, has Kerouac in his back pocket, and some chick with a weird ass coat with patches on the elbows who's, I'm quirky, and horn rimmed glasses, he's trying to bang.
having children is very expensive. It takes a lot of time. So how is it better for that, and I understand this is hypothetical, but that hypothetical little girl to have children than to pursue these things that would make her happy as she gets older?
I just think that if she publishes the book and she has a child, she would agree with me that the child was more fulfilling and made her happy. That's what I'm happier than the book did, is what I'm saying. And I say this as a published author of a New York Times. I would choose my children over my best.
There you go, dude. She wrote a book, has kids, published New York Times. And she's saying, my kids make me happier than the book.
Selling book, and I was that little girl who had a dream that it would be really great if I could share my thoughts and ideas in a book, but it is utter insanity for me to reflect on that and say that I would have rather published Blackout than to have my 3 children.
But why is it rather? You see what I'm saying?
It's not rather. I'm just saying
Well, that's
that
your claim.
it will.
That's your claim, is that it's better.
It will be more fulfilled.
Right.
Yes.
So rather.
Well, if it's an either or, if you're saying it's an either or, I'm just saying that if these two things have happened in your life, the thing that will bring you more spiritual fulfillment will be children. And so women who are neglecting that, who are neglecting the pathway to, strive toward family because they think their career is going to hug them at night, or they think that when they're on their deathbed, their career is going to come up next to them and say, you were so great to me.
That, I will say, though, the deathbed thing, I was actually one of the people in this world that got to experience that with my father. But, how many people really get to be around their parents or their loved ones in bed when they're dying? So I understand it. It's not a reason to have a family, but I get it. Because I just think people can just die by falling down the street. I don't know.
I think that they've stepped into a delusion, and I'm hopeful that they wake up from it before it's too late.
All right, pause. Yeah. Sorry, you've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Hi, I'm Ceci.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So your claim is that women will be happier at home. I think you're conflating, though, happiness with importance, because
If it's not a hat, it's a creepy little mustache. If it's not a creepy little mustache, it's this stupid ring here. Okay? It's the dumb ring. Now, I will say that I have someone who's new in my life, and this person has blue hair, and she's got a piercing here, which I would have totally judged her as a bit of a loon, and she's so cool and funny and completely open-minded and chill. But yet she looks like she might be a wild Portlandian liberal. So you can't always judge a book by its cover. But usually when you see these nose rings, it's just, you're not a bull. I'm already going to profile you. A nose ring here in a woman is hot. Okay? That's hot. Hoop earrings are hot. Piercings along here are real sexy. Okay? The nose? Nah. Not in a septum.
I get what you're saying, where a woman can write a book and have kids, but the kids are always going to make her happier. But I think it just means that kids are always going to be more important, not necessarily make you happier. But also piggybacking on Naima, we don't live in an economy where people typically can have a one-income household,
right?
Whether it be the mom or dad that stays home.
Actually,
so
I apologize to you.
keep
You have the ring where I like it. So good. You don't have the septum, so I apologize. I like her earring in her nose.
Up the 1950s, which
because it was right before the fact.
I just don't know if that's the period of time that you want to go back to.
No, it's just I'm just going back to the first wave of feminism.
But you want to undo progress that's been done. So I'm curious as to what decade you'd be comfortable living in.
I don't love the piercing here. I just don't love a piercing in your lip. I don't know why a piercing is just in there. It's just, I don't like that, but I like it better than here.
Especially as a black woman.
Okay, so we're gonna park aside the race politics because I want to focus on.
Yeah, the black woman.
Okay, then as a woman, what period of time do you want to go back to?
Just as a woman, I think that it was probably a better environment for women when we understood that raising our children was fulfilling.
But some women still do understand that.
Right.
And a lot of women
and I'm one of them.
And I'm here advocating for you to be able to live the life that you want and for other women to be able to live the lives they want.
Do you have children?
No.
Okay. You have a career, I presume?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you work at? What field do you work in?
I do hair.
Of course she does. She's a fucking hairstylist. I've met you 1,000 times. She's got her funky little hair, a little funky little chair hair. Okay, let's go.
I have both children and a career, as somebody pointed out. And so the fact that I'm saying that you will be infinitely more fulfilled at the end of the day by raising your children.
By the way, she's saying it, even if you just had kids, you'd be happier than if you had a career. And she has both. She has a kid and a career. You hear more about her than her husband. So she's doing both. I mean, I don't know what she's advocating. She's just saying you should have kids, but she does both. So she's even saying she's a hypocrite because she does both.
Then you will be, if you come home and you say, wow, I really crushed it dyeing somebody's hair today. What is it exactly that makes you angry about hearing that? Like, that's what I'm actually trying. I'm trying to get to the implicit revolution.
That's the thing, is that no one is
someone
angry.
mentions children.
No, see, no one's angry when you mention children. I get angry, I guess, when you mention that someone should have a children, or you're trying to impose a lifestyle onto people that you want to live, which I think is kind of funny because as someone who's anti-feminism, you practice it more than most women do. I mean, every time you get on your podcast, every time you collect a check, you're practicing feminism.
Yeah, but she's not saying you have to. She's saying her opinion. And isn't this about freedom? So she has the freedom of her opinion. And she's saying, in her opinion, as a woman who has a career and a woman who has children, is that she's happier as a mother than she is as a career woman. Now, if she just had kids and never had a career, she'd probably be saying, what if? She's not saying you shouldn't do it. She's not advocating for your rights to be taken away, but she's just advocating for, hey, man, this is what I like to do. I like to have kids. And guess what else? I have a career. And she's not even saying you can't have a career because she has a career. So you can say, okay, cool, I'm going to have a career too. Listen, there's rotten husbands out there, there's rotten partners, all this stuff. She's just saying that's what she believes will make you more inherently happy. I love the way these videos should be. This is how I should do everything, because this is what they need to do. They need to stop and be explained so the average person can get them.
That's what you think.
No, that's what it is. Because
actually,
without feminism, you wouldn't be able to exist.
Yeah, people keep saying, I hate when people say that.
But it's just the
it
truth.
just shows that you haven't done the research to even understand where the
Or you don't know
came from,
history.
which was discovered. That's what I'm saying about you, because
I mean, I don't know. The blonde hairstylist makes a point, because it is feminist, Candace, that you do. The fact that women are allowed to do things, feminism did do that, even if you rail against it or not. I would assume that that is a feminist win. So I would say the reason you're doing what you do, that's a pretty good point by Blondie.
it means that you don't understand that a bunch of government officials in the CIA funded the feminist movement. So
that I agree with, and that's known fact. I love how they fact check. That's pretty true.
All of your hatred for the patriarchy.
I'm so confused.
And
So my question is it bad that they funded it or bad that it just happened?
Let her talk.
Men wanted women to go into the workforce. The government, which had a lot of men, it was being.
Are you talking about because World War II occurred and we had to go to factories, and then when we left the factories, they forced us back into the homes?
That's not what I'm saying at all. So let me tell you what I'm saying, and then you can respond to it.
Go for it.
Gloria Steinem is considered to be a feminist icon, right? Because she led these protests. She also had a bunch of music festivals. She got students involved. It is just a fact that Gloria Steinem was funded by the CIA.
100%.
The CIA.
That is 100% true. This lady's confused. She was a prop. That is true.
The male
to rip the families apart.
Dominated CIA of the 50s and the 60s funded those movements. So what do you think was the explicit aim? Do you think it was because the government really wanted you to be more free, that they wanted to encourage women to enter?
Well, I have to be honest with you, I couldn't speak on behalf of the government. You know what I mean? And what their intention
well, I think it's important because you just said that I don't know history, and I think it's pretty important if you're going to sit across from me and say I don't know history, that you learn a piece of history and then question. As
you keep bringing up men, and I think it's funny because we should talk about men more. Like you brought up suicide, they're 4 times more likely to kill themselves.
Which is why I don't.
And while women, we're twice as more often on antidepressants, but that's because we go out and do what we need to do to keep coping.
Because we're not happy.
And we need to focus on men and the patriarchy because it's actually oppressed them just as much as women now emotionally, right? Because when we're kids, our parents teach us how to cross the street. Look both ways so you can get the other side unharmed. When a boy comes across a feeling, and I'm using men and boys here because they're the ones suffering, women are too, but emotionally. When they come across a feeling they haven't felt before, we have to teach them how to get to the other side and cope with it. Otherwise, they stay where they are. That anger and resentment builds.
That ain't true, lady. I got a fucking penis. And I've been dealing with my emotions my whole life. In fact, I'm more emotionally available than probably all the women in my family. So that's just some kind of weird stereotype. I guess there's a lot, eat the pain or whatever, but maybe I was grown up as a woman because I've always been emotional. I've always been a little crazy. I've always been a little off. And when I was happy, I would laugh. When I was sad, I would cry. You know, I've never worried about crying. Maybe in front of my homies when I was like young, I was still developing and I was like, carry pussy. But pretty much I showed my anger. I did it all. And that's just a weird stereotype.
That's the feeling they become most comfortable with. That's the feeling they go to first in most situations. So we need to stop telling our boys that they don't cry because they do. They just do it alone and then they become even more alone.
I don't like the ending. You should have shook the hand.
All right.
Okay, now this chick, I think, is a sex worker. I'm not sure, but people talk about her because her clip's been blowing up. So this looks like this is a credit for her.
Nice to meet you.
Now, if you're a sex worker, you don't have any rights because you've commodified your vagina. I'm kidding, but I'm not. You're already gonna be profiled because you commodified your vag.
Okay, so you say that women are more fulfilled at home with kids than going out into the workforce or getting educated.
I'm tired as a motherfucker. Candace is really incredible to sit here and just get gunned down by 20 different people. It's 2 hours. I mean, I would have been dead tired. She hadn't taken a sip of coffee.
But that just really doesn't bear out when you look at the stats, when you look at how working mothers are way less likely to be in poverty.
She's all trying to go educated mode now and get off the sex work.
Education is the #1 predictor of childhood outcomes, better scores, getting higher incomes in the future, fewer behavioral problems, better mental health. So it's weird to me and college-educated women are least likely to get divorced, and they're the only women, the top 10% of women are the only women whose marriage rates are going up. So they're getting married, they're staying married, and their kids are doing better. When you look at stay-at-home mothers, you see that they're more likely to report being depressed, they're more likely to report having anxiety and anger and all these types of things. So how can you say that? Seems like a woman, if you want to get married and have kids, you should go to college and have a career.
So it sounds to me like we are looking at totally different statistics because everything that you said, I've actually read the exact opposite.
I'm glad we're on a fact check show with you.
Right, exactly.
Oh, it's so exciting.
That's going to be amazing. Okay, because I know, like I said, I think what we're talking about is that there was this widespread report on female happiness, and I know that it was formally debunked and it was.
That's not what I'm talking about. Pew Research, University of California. In fact, working mothers today spend more time with their children than women did in the 1960s that were at home.
Okay, well, women that are at home are obviously spending more time with their children than the people who are at work.
And their
today.
children are not faring off any better, and they're faring off worse.
How are you measuring their children faring off worse?
How likely they are to higher incomes, better scores, fewer health problems, fewer behavioral issues, and better mental.
So just to get back to the claim that I'm making here is that it is obvious that women who have children are going to be more fulfilled.
How is that obvious? Because you said so?
No, it's not obvious.
Not really that funny.
It's because I said so. It's because when you look at all the statistics in terms of women who are choosing not to have families, they are, as the person who just sat here before you mentioned, they are suffering from more depression. They're suffering from more anxiety. And
that's not true.
Okay, it is true. It is actually true that women who are choosing their
recent data on this topic is scary.
careers over starting families are finding themselves leaning more onto medicines like Xanax, anxiety-inducing medicines, and depression because they suspended that time frame where women really should be looking to find a partner and to start a family because they were instead pursuing their careers.
And why are they better off?
It is a dishonest, it is totally a dishonest narrative that men and women want the same things out of life. We don't. We absolutely do not want the same things out of life. In fact, we don't even measure.
Look at White Knight. 100% she's correct. Women and men totally want different things.
We don't even measure success the same.
I think women want to be safe. I want to be safe too. But I would think that everybody wants to be safe, but I think women want to feel protected and safe.
Men and women don't even measure success the same.
So,
okay?
but tell me how the women who are working and getting educated, why are they faring off better in all of these?
I am telling you that I do not believe they are faring off better in all of these measures.
Because of what?
I am telling you that we are looking at totally opposite statistics. So you're sitting here telling me that the statistics show that women who are working are producing better children, but I am saying that women that grow up in a two-family home where the mother stays at home are faring off better than the children who are being raised in an environment
where the women are working,
where both of the parents are working away from
home?
the home. I do get to work from home.
No, but
that's the irony.
I've watched your show. You talk about all the nannies you hire, and it's so hard to find a good nanny.
I never talked about all of the nannies I hire.
Yeah, you have.
I spoke about how difficult it was to find a babysitter who knew how to cook a meal, and that's because
you don't need a babysitter. You could retire right now.
You have to let people respond to you when they're speaking.
You don't want to.
to respond to you when
No, you don't want to. You want to be working, which is great.
You're telling me what I want now and then accusing me of telling you.
Wait, you don't want to work?
Can you just let me finish? Because you've said so many words that what you're trying to do here, like your argument style, is I'm going to say so much and not let her get a word in and then walk away and feel like
The amount of calmness she has is incredible. This girl is gunning her down to fuck her up.
We're not having a conversation because you've not letting me respond to even one of your points.
Yeah, she's gunning her down.
Go for it. Okay. What I am saying to you, first to answer what you just said, which was a lie, what I spoke to you about on the weekends is that it's been increasingly difficult to find a 25-year-old who even knows how to make boxed macaroni and cheese.
I know one who can't make ramen. She burnt the ramen. Boxed macaroni and cheese. Such a good point.
Right? And that's crazy. That is in large part due to feminism. Women don't even focus.
Yes. Everyone's confused by that. Are you dumb? Everyone who's confused, she's basically saying that feminism has put you in the workplace and everything is completely disposable. So you're working all day, you're grabbing your macchiato in the morning, you're getting your protein box from Starbucks, you're getting your lunch from Tender Greens, at night you're going to sushi or El Pollo Loco, and and then, oh God, I'm so tired of Xanax, with this and that, oh my God, Valtrex, whatever, I'm smoking, I'm vaping, and then I'm doing it all over again on Saturday. I gotta sleep and do my laundry. Hopefully I meet a guy. He wants to get to know me, but I don't know. I banged him, and White Claws on Sunday, and then you do it all over again. And she's saying and you got to pay your bills and do all this. Your hamster wheel, which you're throwing on because of debt, you're not even taking the basic skills that traditionally we were trained to learn and what women were shown to be in early writings of the earth, that, you could churn butter, make bread, and men went out and hunted and brought home food and, all that shit. But yeah, she's saying you don't even have time to make baked macaroni and cheese, let alone learn how to make it. That's a very good point.
There's this idea that women shouldn't be cooking. Like there's something fundamentally wrong with women even learning how to cook.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
know what I
spending
mean?
as much time with your children as you possibly can? Because that's the way to get the most fulfillment.
No, and that's what I'm trying to say. I am speaking to you
So then stop.
Okay, could you please let
You shut up. This girl's got to shut up. Yeah, it's incredible the patience she shows her.
Get in.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I let you finish.
Just shut up.
You actually have not.
You haven't at all. Shut up.
As I said, it's no one benefits when you're just speaking over me and not allowing me to respond. All you're proving is that you have an attitude and you believe in feminism, but you're not. That's what I'm saying. You just have an attitude, and it's not cute. It's performative.
I'm actually address my point. I will be quiet if you address my point.
Does anybody actually feel here that I am being allowed to address any of her points when she just keeps running over me? Like
complete liars, scumbags. You're all scum. She is not.
I'm literally trying to answer your first point of you saying that I don't stay at home.
Yeah,
fair point.
Really weird. Yeah.
Fair point. Obviously, I get that you're all anti-Candace and pro-feminist, but also it's not productive if you're not actually.
Okay, address the point. You spend more time saying that I'm not addressing.
I hate her. Ooh, I don't like her. I don't want to say hate. I don't like you. Are so. Oh my God, this lady's a gaslighter with lip filler.
That you don't have a chance to talk when you
disrespectful too with those dumb nails.
The whole time you could have addressed the point. Okay. You could have talked.
She's so disrespectful. Lady, you don't have the brains, man, to be talking like this. Candace is being real respectful to you, lady. You don't have the brains, man. You should sell pictures of your booty hole. You don't have the brains to be able to talk to somebody like this.
Go for it.
Just want you to know that you're not coming across as somebody who wants to actually have a conversation.
100%.
So to get back to the claim, because I don't even know where you're at. You're now talking. You're saying that I said stuff in my podcast.
I'll go wherever you want to go.
I never said.
I'll go wherever you
Oh
want
my God, stop talking. You can't stop talking. The girl has to stop talking. This is where tape should be on her mouth. Sorry, you have to until it's your turn to talk. This is why you can't. People, there has to be a rule. Like you can't. You cannot keep interrupting.
with me working at home, because I work at home. You just said
she should have to
something
put her
on
hand.
working
You
at
travel all around the world.
Okay,
you do speeches, and I love that. I love how ambitious you are. That's a really great trait. And if you were truly said that, you would be more fulfilled. Now, one thing you do find is women, they don't want to stay at home when you pull them. They just want flexible working hours and flexible working conditions like you have. And I think we should all advocate for that. It's not one or the
Flexible.
other. But when you sit here and you go, you'll be more fulfilled doing this and spend all your time doing that, we would love for you to leave the public eye and go focus on what makes you fulfilled.
Okay.
No, you wouldn't. I would love to ask her what she does for a living. She's done? I gotta stop. Like, subscribe.
Anyone's talking, they're blockers. That's not why I came to Hollywood. Do you know how fucking backwards that is? Shit.
I hate to break it to you.